Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to PSGL, PS here, Season 31, F3 Division, round number 10 at USA. I am your commentator, Iron Neon, or as Jared Fosbury, being joined in the booth by the OAP himself, Mr. Sondra Soaug. Well, Sondra, how are you doing today?
What did you say? So we'll have to see.
That's true. USA can have a 50-50 how the race goes, depends how everyone does at the start. But on some interesting news, which I got wrong last week. Marlon did actually win the Drivers' Championship last week, so he is the Drivers' Champion. So congratulations to him. The Constructors, though, is still up to play, so we'll see if that can be wrapped up today as well. But Marlon actually will be the first one to begin a lap, so Sunday, if you want to go on board with the Drivers' Champion this season, and go on board with him about to start a lap.
Man, don't you think I'm already on board with him?
I don't know, just got to make sure you're awake, that's all. But I'll let you carry on.
I see how it is. Nonetheless then, Marlon heading into the final corner, very tricky with the light here, taking very wide entry before starting his lap as we head up towards turn 1 into this very blind left-hander, hitting the apex nicely, then not going over that curve before heading into towards turn 2 before we go into this S section, a very quick and fast S section. You can see him getting through nicely here as we have some yellows. I don't think that is anything special nonetheless. Heading over this hill and down towards the hairpin leading on to the... He's invalidated, Jared.
Yeah, I noticed that he's invalidated, and I also noticed that Lewis Curtis has left the session.
It should be restarted, sounds like.
Yes, there is a restart. I wonder why there is a restart, as somebody decided not to put the right setting on, Mr. Curtis. So this qualifying session is void. Oh, well, I'll just ask. So you guys read the wrong briefing. What do you mean he's read the wrong briefing? Is it meant to be on midday or something? Let's have a look.
I don't know.
For some reason I can't see the briefing chat. But there is a restart, so I think it's because he's messed up that. Which is annoying, but he'll get it sorted ASAP. Let's have a look then.
Well, that was a quick quali.
Yeah, that was quick quality. Hopefully we can have a reverse good order. Would spice it up a little bit. Yeah, everyone's leaving now. Just trying to find out what rule he hasn't put on. Safety car, VSC. I don't see anything he's missed, unless... I think session starts meant to be set to midday, which I don't know why it's meant to be set to midday, but we'll just leave it at that. And that was a quick time on the board there, though, Sondra. Steph, 1:32.8. Steph was the only one who did set a lap time in this quick quali.
That might be.
And now we all kicked
already left at that point.
Fair enough. I'm in the lobby on my own. Well, weather will be set dynamic as we get to restart quali.
So I don't know. Are you planning on joining a new lobby or?
I haven't even been invited to the lobby. Have they said it in the chat?
Yes, you have.
Oh, yeah, they do it.
Oh. Like you always ask, man.
Yeah, it didn't come up on my notifications, which is a bit odd. I am joining now, so let's join. Someone let me in? There we go. I do apologise for that. Yeah, usually when he does that, it pops up on my phone saying that there's an invite being sent, and it didn't come through, which is a bit odd. But oh well. Hopefully we can actually get in this qualifying session, actually have a qualifying run for today.
Excuses.
Do you want to go over the sponsors while we wait for everyone to join the lobby, or?
To be fair, it does look like a good point for that. So we'll start it now, and PSGL's title sponsor for season 31 is GT Omega, a leading manufacturer of gaming peripherals, from chairs to wheels to pretty much everything you can imagine. And I'm gonna say it once again, Jared, you should check out www.gtomega.co.uk, and who knows, maybe you can bang on a few tenths on your lap times with a new setup. Nonetheless, if you do, then use PSGL at checkout for 5% off all of their products.
Yeah, I'll definitely give that a look when I'm got some free time. But right now, we're just waiting for one more driver, I believe. Who's actually not here today? I know we only have one Merc. Isn't it an Aston? It is. Who are we actually missing? We did have 17. Let's have a look. Oh, it is Hershey. Yeah, we are missing the other McLaren. So there we go. Just waiting for him now, and then hopefully we can get in the quality session as soon as possible and have some exciting racing. As he's just now joined, so I think we should be underway. You got any qualifying predictions about with the grid we currently have?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm expecting Marlon to be up there as usual. But at the same time, he's won the championship now, correct?
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
So in that case, I don't know, he might be slacking off a bit at the same time. So I think is Noah here?
Noah
Yes, yeah.
is this?
I think I'll say Noah for Polden. Then Steph second and Marlon third.
Interesting. That's not a bad quality order, especially with Steph. He did show some strong pace last week. If I remember correctly, I believe he was in the Aston at the time. But yeah, he did show some good pace. Yeah, I kind of agree with that quality order. I'm going to go tiny bit different. I don't think Marlon's going to back up at all. I think he's going to smash the time on pole. I think second, I'm going to go with Noah as well. But third, I'm going to go with Hershey. I think he could actually out-qualify Noah today. I think he could be up there for third for my top three, as we already got a McLaren leaving the pit lane, which I believe is Noah. So he was quick to get his setup on and ready to go. And we do have some clearer skies than we had in the other quality session.
The setup.
Well, yeah, that can happen. Hopefully he hasn't done that, because that could screw his race results. But to
be fair, that's more of a you thing to do, isn't it?
Well, no, I don't have a memory like yours, so it's I always put a setup on before I leave the garage or anything like that. But yeah, Noah is out then. First, he has an Aston, Rebel, and a Mercedes. So Marlon is fourth in the guys out on track right now. We're waiting for... Actually, everyone is going to leave the pits now as well, as there's a Red Bull and Hershey still in the pits. There's friends. And Hershey, no penalties for this weekend either, which is great for us. So we can actually see some good racing. And hey, Sandra, since it is USA, if you remember a while back, do you remember OP Zane into Knuth around here? McLaren and a Ferrari? You think that could happen today?
I have some brief recollection of that, yeah.
Hope that doesn't happen today, hopefully.
It was at the end of the straight.
Yeah, it was. It came from nowhere. Yeah, ruined the McLaren.
Looked like straight up murder.
Definitely. But then, Noah is going to begin his flying lap. Hopefully he doesn't invalidate like Mar did on his first run.
Hopefully not. As he opens his DRS, goes down the start, finish straight up towards turn 1. This blind left-hander taking a lot of the inside curb, not touching the outside curb before going through turn 2, then into this quick S section, turn 3, 4, 5, 6, which is a double right-hander, then 7 before heading up the hill into 8th and 9th. Oh, that is very wide, not invalid somehow. Not sure if that is after the book, but nonetheless, it goes on to the straight then. Ooh. And I'm assuming he's given up looking at that. Fruitful though, right behind him, also going down the straight, heading into this left-hander after the straight now and into this slower section. First into this double right, very slippy on traction, then into this double left that ends in a hairpin, going into this long right-hander where he's going flat out, then getting into tricky left-hander, heading into the final corner. And let's see, first lap on the board, it's gonna be a 1:32.8.
Not a bad lap, but Marlon instantly beats that with a 32.6 then, as Mali with a 33.1 in the Red Bull at the moment, as I believe that is Lickelback come across the line.
Blocks 33.5.
Bit off the pace there, but obviously that was a banker of a lap. As Cameron though is spun it just after the end of sector 2, so
88 Lewis over the line for 33.8.
not a good lap for him either. As Hirsch then actually Voller actually is next.
Beat a 32.8.
Not a bad
right
lap.
into the mix there.
As France is next up on a flyer then in the Red Bull, and then we do have Hershey, the final runner, as he's coming up to the final corner now. Let's see what he can do on the time. DRS is active and it's going to be 6th place with a 1:33 flat there, so couldn't get into 32s.
Hershey around the final corner now. It's going to be a 33.6 from Hershey.
Not a bad time, but it's up there. It's in 12th. But Noah and Cameron, though, Sandra, the only ones who haven't set laps at the moment, as someone says Brand's going to win today. Why is Brand? Oh, as Noah just spun it out of the pit lane.
Well, that's not the way to go for pole, but nonetheless, you are correct though. Noah and Toxic, the only 2 drivers not to have put a lap in yet, and also then the 2 drivers with the most pressure on them for the rest of this quali session, as everyone's done their banker and can now at least not worry about not getting a lap in. However, these 2, they need to get a lap in.
Yeah, definitely. Since now these guys are going to get a fresh set of tyres who've set laps, and they're going to be a lot more to grips with the track than what Noah and Cameron are going to be, as they made mistakes on their first runs. But we'll have to wait and see what happens as on board with Noah right now, as we're waiting for him to start his lap, as we'll go on board with it. But Cameron still hasn't left the pit lane yet. He's still in the pits in 17th. So maybe he's going to wait for when everybody else goes out of the pit lane.
Time, so I don't know if he's trying to save some fresh tires for the race or what he's thinking, but he's out now at least. Nonetheless, Noah about to start his flyer then as he heads out of the final corner. DRS open over the line. Here we go. Up towards the blind turn 1. Let's see then. Takes a lot of that inside curve once again. Now heading into this long right-hander, heading into the S section, staying in 7th for the whole first part before going down to 6th and 5th. Quickly up into 6th again before he goes down into 4th. Now let's see then. Over the hill. Ooh, a little bit slippery, but he manages to keep it. Now heading into this hairpin. And here is where he realized that his lap was done for last time. It is not this time, and he keeps going. Let's see then. Second sector split should be coming up right after this corner. As we can see him taking a lot of that inside curb. Now let's see then. A 102.6. Just realized we don't have a delta on this guy yet, Jared, but but nonetheless, heading into the around this final sector now. Flat out through this long right-hander before all the way.
Oh, and he's out. What happened? I only got the last part of that. What I missed? What, did he just run over the curb, or?
I don't have a good answer to that.
Well, there's a shame there for Noah, as Cameron then, we're on board now, who's next on a lap. At the moment, we're going to go on board with him. Currently in the second sector now, approaching the back straight, the longest straight of the track. We definitely will see some overtaking opportunities, maybe some aggressive dive bombs at the end of the straight. But Cameron then, since he also won't have a delta in the second sector, will just want to get a lap on the board, so he'll be ahead of Noah. So Noah is going to be disappointed as well. Going to be starting at the back of the grid in quali. Cameron not. 1:02.6, so I believe Noah actually did that as well, the middle sector. Cameron's twitching a little bit in this part of the track as we are now approaching the triple right-hander. Foot to the floor. See what he can do then in the Haas. As I believe Marlon will be next to finish the lap. As here comes Cameron then, so he's kept it within track limits, nice and tidy. And it's going to be a 1:33.1, 7th quickest at the moment. Marlon's picked some pace, 1:32.555. Marlon's picked some pace there, not a bad time, as I'm trying to go on board with Hershey, but it's not letting me for some reason.
Good improvement from Marlon there. However, though, Fruitful in second, also on an improvement, a 10th up in the second sector. Now let's see then. Doesn't look like the cleanest third sector there, but nonetheless over the line it's a 1:32.7, and he lost a bit of time in the last sector there.
He did, as Jabraka's apparently 1.5 tenths up on his time. Is he going to improve? Yes, he is, by 5.5 tenths. Moves to 5th quickest, just behind the fellow Ferrari driver in 4th, Vola. Looking right now, though, is anybody else actually improving?
Malcolm had a purple second sector, it said. I'm not sure if we can trust that, but I'm gonna stick with it anyway as he's coming around the final corner here. Let's see then, 1:32.8, and it is an improvement up into 3rd for the Ferrari driver, and straight down into 4th.
Yeah, as ASY 696 improved his time in the 32.7. That's not a bad lap time.
Is about to finish his lap as well, coming into the final corner. Let's see here. This could be good. 132.9, and it's a 10.5 improvement from him.
It is, as Hershey right now going to go on board. He was apparently 4.5 tenths up on his time in the second sector as Cameron's peeled into the pit lane. As we see that Hershey, nice and tidy, keeps it within track limits, doesn't make a mistake like his teammate did. Coming to the line, it's going to be close, and it's ninth with a 133.136, 5 tenths improvement, but only just ahead of Cameron there. So Cameron, even with that lap, drops to 10th. So he's right now actually ahead of his teammate Lickle, who's currently on an out lap, who set one good lap and then couldn't set a better one.
The final corner right now. Let's see, a 133.2, 10.5 improvement for Tito.
No position change. Is anybody else? No, I think
the next one on a lap should be Lickle.
Yeah, it will be Lickle unless the... I don't know what the Red Bull's doing. Was the Red Bull... Was Frentzen another lap?
I doubt it. He improved on that lap, so...
No, I was just wondering, because he tried to overtake Edwards, so I was wondering, Lickle, I was wondering if he was thinking... Lickle was thinking that he was on a lap, but he isn't in the end. Lickle then, if you want to go on board, ball. He's just in the triple right.
On board.
As he's going to begin his final lap.
Lickle blocks around the second last corner, now into the final corner. Crucial to get a good run here. Let's see then. Lickle blocks, opens his DRS. Now it's flat out up towards the blind turn one. Let's see then, down into third gear. Not the best apex we've seen here today, nonetheless. Heading around turn 2, then into the S section, stays in 7th, down into 6th. Stays there for the remainder of it before going down into 5th now. Then this uphill section. Oh, and he's around. That's a wing change for him now.
And that is a wing change indeed, as well, that's going to be a kick in the teeth. But Zane is the next one, I believe, on a lap. He's 2 tenths up at the moment. And I believe Lewis is behind him as well on a flyer, so if you want to keep on board of him, in case he either improves as well. That's a nice and tidy entry into the back straight. That's a good exit then. Activates his DRS and just going down the back straight as max speed as he can. As Cameron also is about to begin his flying lap as well. Let's see what his second sector time is. We saw Cameron do a 1 minute 2.6. Zane is, well, almost 2 tenths up in his time. But he's a tenth down on Cameron's sector 2. I'm guessing that's Lewis. It is Lewis.
It is right before the second sector split.
Oh,
pretty much at it.
Well, fair enough then. As Zane not is almost 2 tenths up on his time in the second sector. Let's see what his final sector can do. And he's backed off. He's going to the pits. He wasn't happy with that second sector after all.
Well, next one.
It was Cameron, but it's actually Steph.
Unless Lewis goes for another on those tires, should be Steph then.
No, there's no way he's just crashed it in the pits. Right, okay, Lewis, I think, crashed it in the pits.
Well, here goes Steph. Starting possibly his final run, opens his DRS, heading down, down, up towards turn 1, and we can see that he might get some traffic here, so let's just hope these driver stays out of his way. The first one does at least. And he's going now down in towards the S section. Stays in 7th. Stays in 7th for a long time, but downshifts here to 6th, then 5th, then 4th for this uphill section. Gets nice traction out there. Now heading down towards the hairpin, leading out on the straight. Sounded like lockup, didn't see any though. Nonetheless, onto the straight, opens DRS. Let's see then, 195, 197 in the end, before a massive cut off the curve there, and he's slightly down on his time right now, Jared. So it might not be an improvement for Steph here. Nonetheless, heading out of this hairpin and in towards this long right-hander. Oh, as the car slips and he's around into a perfect 360.
It's a shame he ain't got enough battery to do another run, but we're going on board with Hirsch then. He will be the next to start a lap, as he's coming around the final corner then. And this will be his final run of the day, currently in 9th with a 33.1. As we'll go on board him then. Into turn 1 he goes down all the way to 2nd gear. Short shifts all the way back up to 4th. Gets an okay exit. Already into 2 and 3 now, into this X section, the S section, not X section, as you need to make it as straight as possible.
What kind of a section you're
I've had too much coffee, but now he's in the right-hander. Into the left as well, nice, he's actually invalidated, so that's actually that lap over. I don't think he has enough time to do another run, so we're going to go on board with the Aston, is it, or is it the Williams of Jax?
Coming with some mistakes as well, and I think that might be his lap done for.
That is
still
a shame.
Going, however, I think he should have lost too much time there.
Well, while we focus on Jax right now, hopefully Vola can somehow improve his time. But Jax then, currently in 15th with a 33.7. Fruitful right behind him, but he's sitting in 3rd right now with a 32.7 himself. Tiny little improvement, could move to 2nd, as quali is officially ending then.
Down.
Oh, he is? Oh, that is a shame then.
Wall going in 1.5 tenths down, or a bit more than that actually. And 2nd place is around currently.
That is another shame then. There's a lot of drivers struggling with the track at the moment.
Ren's 0.5 tenth down.
And Jax does improve to 14th. So as you said, didn't improve. Well, it did improve though. He moves to 3rd.
Coming in with a small improvement in the end.
Well, not Steph. It was Mali. Yeah, moved to 2nd, 32.6. Well, that's France.
Let's see, Ferenz, did he manage to improve at all in the end? 0.5 tenth.
Moves to 6th.
Marl's been off track a little.
Cameron moves to 9th, good lap there from him, and then instantly gets dropped back to 10th by Zane. Tito, I believe, is next, then it is Lickle.
He's invalidated. Lickle is the next one. He's heading into the final corner. Let's see then. Can he match his fellow Haas driver? 133 flat, just ahead of his teammate.
And Lewis then finishes in 16th then with a 33.8. Marlon was going to finish his lap, but he decided to go in the pits and, caught a day. Didn't have to improve. And he's on pole with a 32.555.
He wasn't improving either. He spun, so...
Oh, did he? Oh, my apologies. I thought he was on improvement. Well...
Oh, no. He might have been earlier on in the lap, but...
As Langfell is saying Sondre in the chat, so you've got a fellow Norwegian. Happy to see you're here. But Mai then...
Good old Langfell.
A 32.6. Not a bad lap. I believe it's his debut race there as well. So, not Mali, that's ASY who's on his debut race, but Mali, not a bad lap then in the Red Bull to be from Marlon. Only a 10th and a bit off. Especially when Marlon's been quite dominant the past couple of rounds. Almost had 5 wins in a row. Unfortunately, I got ended in Jeddah. But not a bad quali. I thought only a 10th off exactly as well. So, here is your qualifying order then. Marlon does take pole by a 10th, Mali 2nd, ASY in 3rd, Vollerken in 4th, Fruitful in 5th, Frent 6th, Steph then 7th, one of my predictions to be up there, and same as Sandra I believe as well, is in 7th then, Jabraka 8th, Zane an impressive 9th, ahead of both Haas drivers of Lickle in 10th, Cameron in 11th, Brand in 12th, a guy I did say he could possibly win today. Got a big job ahead of him to do that. Hershey 13th, Tito 14th, Jax 15th, and Lewis Curtis, the biggest surprise, in 16th. And Noah, who made a mistake in quali which caused his wheels just to rip off, will be lining up at the back of the grid. Well, Sandra, it's going to be a very exciting race. Hopefully, we can see from Noah Lewis at the back.
Well, it's certainly going to be a difficult race for the two of them. Passing around here, it really depends on the race situation. If you're in a train, it's almost close to impossible unless somebody makes mistakes. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Noah and Lewis can do at the back there.
Yeah, as we're just now waiting for the guys to finalise their race strategies, fuel loads, and the tyre choice they're going to start with. As we've got 5 seconds till the race begins. Remember, there is no formation lap due to the glitch since Quaddies still haven't fixed it. Hopefully they can fix it soon. But then, as usual, Sanjay just go at the back of the grid in case anything happens with Lewis. But we're at 5 red lights then. Round number 10. And we're underway then. It looks like Mali and Mon have had an okay start. The Alpha in the background's had a decent start as well, trying to go on the outside of the Red Bull and the Mercedes. As we see a Red Bull diving it from a long way back. Oh, bit of contact, and there's 2 cars round. That's the Red Bull of Mali and the Williams, I believe, of Steph. Almost came in the blows there. Possible minor damage to their front wings. As everyone's going side by side into the X session, as there's an Alpine, bit of contact there as well. Williams and AlphaTauri going side by side, 3 wides, 1 board. On Mali's getting really hectic here. Lickles moving in the 6th, also in this fight with Cameron.
And Noah, no wait, Hershey and Lewis, that is actually, made contact, and they're both around, and they're gonna have a much more difficult race now.
As Brand absolutely sends it, but hang on, there's a spin. That is, I believe, Steph then. He is around.
It is
and he made a mistake there. That is a mistake from him, and he's not going to be happy with that now.
Toxic and Jack side by side. Toxic manages to keep that position.
Oh, Brand also makes mistakes.
He's gone all the way down into 14th.
He has indeed. Him and Steph, I believe, did get in some contact early on.
As Jack taps the rear end of Toxic, and Toxic is around. As, oh, look at that. Hershey down the inside into the left hairpin before his long right.
Yeah, that's true.
Catches Jack's off guard there.
But I'll tell you what also caught us off guard. Well, actually, hang on. Well, Hershey's off the track. No, Noah's off the track. That was interesting rejoin.
Jack's into the pit. Same with Noah.
Yeah, that I was going to say. No, that was from Noah. A very questionable rejoin. That probably could be investigated. He almost took out his teammate there to go in the pit lane. But as I was saying, Jabraka is the only guy at the moment on the medium tire start. And he's in 4th right now. Everybody else on hards except Jackson.
It could be a good strat, but it could also turn badly. As we see Jax, he decided to retire.
Always ASY made a little bit of a mistake there in 3rd. Maybe the pressure is getting to him a little bit, but Ferenc is keeping Marlon away. But there is yellows.
Is around. I don't know what happened, but it's all the way to the back for him.
It is, as we keep an eye on the action up front as well, as we see both Ferraris, one's on the attack, one's possibly going to be on the defence, as Fruitful's not that far behind. As we have yellows in sector 1 and 2, that's just the AI of Jax. Hopefully that goes away, and it does. Noah, though, has got a big task ahead of him. 22 seconds from the next driver, and that's because the driver's spun around. But at the moment, everybody else is in the massive train at the moment, and DRS will be enabled this lap as well. So hopefully we can see some overtake.
Yes, though, the big winners so far after these first 2 laps. Ferenc up 4 positions, same with Jabraka, Lickle 3 positions, Brand 4, Tito 5. And the biggest loser, obviously, Mali, down 11 positions.
Yeah, he was down 12, but Cameron spun it there, looks like in the triple right, so he might potentially have some minor damage when he got hit by Jax to the rear of the car. Mali has called it a day, so he's deals. Oh, Jabraka's gone deep into the S section, and that's let Volley straight through. Oh, no, that's actually lag. He is lagging all over the place, which isn't going to be a good sign. Is he lagging for you as well, or is it just me? Because he is literally going off the track on it.
I wasn't there, so I can't say.
Like he ran deep, but it just lagged him back through. As Noah's also given up for today, then he doesn't see the point continuing. Could have been a safe car, could have still somehow come back, but he doesn't want to waste his time. Brand moves to 7th.
Brand
He's on a charge.
On Lickle.
He qualified 12th.
As Brand locks up at the end of the straight, and
Edward makes a little error there as well.
Might have gotten a little eager trying to go for that opportunity.
Definitely is. We're going to go on board with the Alpha right now, challenging the Red Bull. As I've noticed, the leader's got 90%. Ferenc, on the other hand, has only got 13 or 16% ERS. So
yeah,
he's in a bit of trouble.
Say until I noticed Brand making a move there, but Marlon right now just looking like he's cruising.
Yeah, he's not. Don't have to push, just maintain the pace, and basically he's on holiday right now. Nobody's really challenging him. But let's see what Ferenc can do in case he gets under attack by the Alpha. Right now, Jabraka's not that far away, even though he had a bit of a lag issue, which looks like it's fixed itself. As there's not really that many other fights on the track right now. There is a fight for Brand's position, who's trying to get in this train as well for first, technically.
Brand is fighting his all right now to make sure he gets properly in contact with this train. He has managed to get the RS. Lickle did not, so he's in a bit of more of a tricky situation now, but Brando pretty much no ERS left and struggling to stay inside that DRS range as well.
Definitely. Oh, his ASY made a little mistake there into the double right-hander, goes wide, and Jabraka then. They're lagging a tiny bit, but Jabraka moves into 3rd. And the Alpha there, just one little error, and it cost him a position. Hopefully he can try and re-overtake him. Or he could be under threat by the fellow Norwegian behind. As there's yellows again, that is a Haas going slowly. That is Lickle.
Oh.
He made the same mistake as Cameron did as Marlon, picked up the pace. That is some flat then on the hard compounded tyre right now.
He's really asserting his dominance right now, as we can see that Ferenc is about to slip away. He can't properly keep up with Marlon, and we can also see that Jabraka, he's barely managing to keep up with Ferenc as well.
Yeah, definitely. And while you were on board with that, actually, Cameron also made the same mistake Lickle did in the same part of the track, so he lost place. Lewis, he's just re-overtaken him. Just going to quickly jump on that, see if they're going side by side. They are in the S section.
Into the S section.
And Cameron makes it work.
Space, but the Haas comes out on top.
We'll keep an eye on the action up ahead as well, just in case there is overtakes. But right now, this is the closest fight. Will Lewis go for a bit of a dive? Cameron makes a little error there. Just thinking about it. Just getting prepared. Should be an easy overtake for Lewis.
To the long straight. And a little
bit of weaving.
Oh, is Lewis gonna go for it though? Sits behind. What?
He's a bit of drifting as well though.
Driving here.
Yeah, they're not usually like these two drivers to be passive. They're usually aggressive and throw it all out. But well,
it's usually all or nothing with both of these two. Either it's a hell of a result or it's Spinala.
It definitely is. Jabraka then's picked up the pace yet again, and he's finally in the DRS range of Ferenc. We'll keep an eye on that. If he gets any closer, Cameron there off the track. We are going to go on board with the fight for second at the moment. Jabraka has closed that gap back up, and a fruitful 3-second time penalty As Marlinow's picked up the pace even more now. The gap's 1.7 seconds to Ferenc, so maybe he's using a bit of that energy he's stored up to try and pull a bit more of a gap. As Cameron drops all the way back down to 14th again, as him and Lewis are having a massive scrap in the background.
Ferenc could be in trouble now. Jabraka gets a good exit off that corner. Now let's see then. DRS open. He's gaining and gaining. And down the inside.
Very easy manoeuvre there on the mediums. And moves in the second then. Just hopefully he can keep Ferenc behind, as Ferenc still only got 15% ERS.
Yeah, I don't know if Ferenc actually did it, but it looked like he made those small weaves to signal Jabraka to get ahead of him and see if he can, maybe he can have a chance at closing this gap between them and Marlon.
Well, that's true, but I'll tell you one thing who's definitely not going to be happy is Edward. He's got no front wing. Wonder if there's a bit of contact between him and Steph, because he was ahead of Steph, just overtaking him on the straight. Well, he doesn't want to hold up Cameron. Cameron needs to get past quickly. And he's holding up Lewis. Cameron's completely off the track there. Gets a 3-second time penalty, which is a lot of track limits here between these two. But we'll keep an eye out up front. Is there any potential overtakes ahead? As needs to almost collide out of turn 1. I think they're trying to put on a show for us here, Sondre, between these two.
Could be.
That's why then. Trying to keep up Ferenc. He's only got 6% ERS as well. A lot of people now starting to burn their batteries. As Cameron gets another penalty. Which now I believe, yeah, he's already got 6 seconds worth, and Fruitless only got 8. As everyone's stuck in this train, and when you're stuck in this train, as Sondre said earlier on in the race, you just can't make an overtake unless you're really up close. But Fruitful makes an error then, and Edward Lickle has crashed out in the S section, so he is out of the race. As Cameron and Lewis are still fighting it out side by side. And Lickle's left the session, which isn't the best thing, but he has left the session in the end. As the Haas and the Alpha still going side by side. Oh, this is going to end in tears between these two. Great race and not. Oh, scratch that. Cameron is around. Yeah, that's. No, it's definitely rear wing damage to Cameron. And he's spun it again. Lewis though is now on his own. That's on board with ASY then, trying to catch up with Ferenc.
Well, I can tell you that Ferenc is sticking with Jabraka, and it might have been a good call if he tried to let Jabraka go, because Jabraka, he's been able to somewhat stabilize the gap between him and Marlon, but Marlon has been using a little more of his ERS now to try and just slightly pull away, which is, as I believe Toxic is around again, maybe.
Yeah, he is, as Tino lost position there to his teammate. Actually, hang on, that's ASY, we've missed that. He's gone off as well. And lost a couple of positions.
That's him out of the train as well.
Yeah, which isn't good, because when you're out of that train, that's it. You're not going to catch back up.
Another driver it's not a good thing for is Volakongen. Because of that, he's not within DRS range anymore of the drivers in front of him.
Yeah, and he could be under threat from the guys behind.
Well, everyone's as low as they can be on ERS now, so...
Yeah, I think Cameron's going to call it a day, I think, because he's really struggling at the moment on track. He's run wide almost every corner. So I think he probably will retire in the pits. As he's almost round again. As he is drifting away, but there's no action up front. Everyone's, you know, pulling away from towards him.
Has been gaining a little bit of time on Marl now. He's actually dropped Ferenc as well. Ferenc stuck with him for a while, but now he's not there anymore.
That's pretty well starting to close on Voller, but he doesn't have enough room. But Cameron's just showing us a bit of drifting, a bit of donuts as well. But I think he is going to call it there. And yeah, he is. So we're going to go back on board with second and third and fourth Cameron. And it's going to call it there, so he calls it quits as well. That's both Haas drivers then out of the race. Brent Stott trying his best at the moment in third to keep the gap from Voller. 1.7 right now.
Chewbacca really making a push now for catching up with Marlon. Gaps down to 2 seconds, 1.9. Marlon, though, looks like he's tried to save up a little more ERS again, so I don't think Chewbacca is going to get much closer.
And another one board with a fight for fourth between Fruitful, Voller and Brand. Voller could be in a bit of trouble here. That's Cameron's AI. Hopefully that hasn't collected anybody.
Fruitful on Volkongen. Can he get a move? I think we're going to have an overtake here. Fruitful overtakes Volkongen on the straight.
Yeah, very easy manoeuvre.
Easy overtake there, no fight from Volkongen either.
So then, is Voller going to be a bit under threat by Brand, or is he going to try and stay with the Aston to try and pull himself along to catch back up with friends?
I don't think he's going to become too much under threat from Brand. Volkongen's got more ERS than both Brand and Fruitful, so I think it's more of a move to see if Fruitful is quicker and to see if he can try to drag them up again.
Well done. There is another scrap further behind as well between the AlphaTauris of Zane and Tito. Potentially Hershey as well if you can get back in that DRS range. As
1.7 between the front two right now, actually.
The gap has decreased a little bit. But I wonder if Marlon's just doing that to save his battery up and let Chewbacca, like...
he is saving it up a little. I have seen that. I believe he was down to 30% at some point. He's up to 50 again now.
While Chewbacca's on 6.
In the meantime, Chewbacca trying his hardest right now. Down to 3% DRS. Pretty much nothing left to give. And it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get up to Marlon.
I don't know. I think if he keeps getting better entries and exits than Marlon, potentially, because look, it's already now 1.4, back to 1.5, so he is slowly catching up. Eventually, when Marlon's happy with his ERS, obviously he'll pull away again. But that's not going to be for another couple of laps. I don't think it's going to be that for another couple of laps. I think Marlon's going to wait till he gets almost 80%, to be honest.
Or to be fair though, Chewbacca, he's going to be pitting before everybody else, I'm assuming at least. So, be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, his pit stop should be soon actually, because on lap 12 out of 28, we know the hards right now can go the distance.
Well, I would assume they could go 16 if Chewbacca's able to go 12 with the mediums.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm wondering if he's going to try and stay out though and try and do take the mediums like the hards, like when the hard guys are going to pit, because for the softs. Wonder if that's possibly going to be an option. because he's taken them quite long, and if he is just going to go for a set of hard tyres, I would pit now, or a couple of laps before. Because if you take them too long, the hards are just not going to be...
He's still pulling time on the drivers behind, so...
Yeah, just when those guys behind, when they pit fresh mediums compared to if Jabraka goes fresh hards, the mediums do look a lot better of a tyre, as Fruitful's dropped 2 positions.
And looking at where it's happened, I think Fruitful might have made a mistake after the straight.
Yes, indeed, as ASY is also now getting into this fight as well. As Fruitful looked like he was potentially going to make a dive on Brand there. But stays behind as Aston doesn't look the grippiest car on the track at the moment, as it was sliding a little bit there. Slides again.
Let's see, Brand on Volakongen, no move into turn 1.
And Jabraka's still at another lap. Fruitful is just trying to get a good run before Brand makes the move on Vola.
Oh. Marlon's been able to save up some more ERS, but Jabraka inside DRS now.
He is inside DRS, but Brand not. He's going to be making a move on Vola. Vola's in a bit of trouble now. Brand is through to 4th. And ASY as well is the Alfa Romeo is also in this train as well, so he's had a bit of a break. Some of these guys having a little fight. There's one lap 13, going to be starting lap 14 soon. Surely Jabraka's going to pit.
Well, I would assume so, unless he is actually planning on trying to stretch them to the softs, but... I think I remember the softs being pretty bad around this track though, so...
The softs are usually bad at every track, because Fruitful's made another mistake, because Brand's in.
Ferenz and Vola into the pit.
And Fruitful. Oh, Fruitful spun it. Got a lucky break there for getting a reset there. The game auto resetted him, almost lost his wheel, and he's retired.
Speeding for ASY.
Why is he what? I don't know if he's got rear wing damage or something, or chassis damage, but he spun it, didn't hit the wall, reset the track, and just retired. Bit pointless there, but Lewis then moves to 11th. But the hard runners are now starting to pit.
At 60, Steph also onto the mediums.
He's got to pit for hard tyres then. There's no way he's going to be able to keep this pace alone, because he's out of battery right now. He's not in the DRS. And he needs to get to the softs if he is planning that, and these guys ahead of him are going to be pitting in maybe next lap or now. Jabraka's in a bit of trouble. He needs to pit, I think. It's not the best strategy call.
I don't know what he's doing right now. I can't see anything else than him trying to go for the softs, but he's gonna lose all of that advantage he had on Ferenz, even probably Vola, if he's gonna stay out that long.
No, he's in.
Go to the softs. Oh, in?
Yeah, but he is in now, so he has finally made the call. I think it's a bit too late to make the call for hards, but well, it's going to be an interesting strategy. He's going to have to be super aggressive. Have to be pushing the limits on those tyres to have a chance to get a good result today. As Hershey and Zane also in the pits.
Ferenz on the start-finish straight right now. There is Jabraka. He's going to be out right ahead of Ferenz, but look at that though. Ferenz on those fresh medium tires, already up to temperature, goes right by him.
Yeah, and that's what happens.
A bit further behind, but on those heated up tires though, we can see that he's gaining quite quickly right now.
Oh, Steph is potentially making an overtake on Lewis for 10th. Well, I think Steph's tyres are a lot better than 14 lap old hards. Lewis is going to get overtaken.
Well, they certainly should be.
So I'm going to see if Fruitful said anything in the F3 journal. Very close, side by side. He's not doing him around the outside, is he? Yes, he is. What a move there from Steph. Lewis has just been showing up there a little bit.
You can just see the huge tyre advantage, but Lewis, though, not going to give it up.
Well, Lewis got DRS, so he's going to have the advantage here.
Marlon into the pit now.
Lewis back
Same
into
with
10th.
Brand and Tito.
Yeah, everyone's making their scheduled stops now. It's where Jabraka's going to be filtering out.
Marlon is out well ahead. Ferenc and Brand should be behind Vola. He is. He's going to be behind ASY as well. Just ahead.
Oh my god. These two are all going side by side for the triple right-hander. They've been, as he's been talking, they've been fighting it out, tooth and nail between Lewis and Steph, and Lewis has spun it, which is the classic bottle from Curtis.
Bottle.
Yep, classic bottle from him, and well, drops all the way back down to 11th. Could have scored points, could have done something, but made a big mistake. As Bracker then in third, 2.7 seconds off Ferenc. He's 4.7 off the leader. At one point, he was like 1.1 to 9 tenths. At one point, the gap was between him and the leader. So his strategy hasn't played off well, because now he's going to get caught by everybody on the mediums. Oh. And Brand has just lost position to ASY.
Well, I mean, it's a good reason why most people start on hards, and it's just as simple as they are horrible to heat up when you come out of the pit in the middle of the race.
Definitely is. Well, we want to get a nice helicopter view on board this fight for 5th place. And these guys should be eating into Jabraka's time ahead on these medium tyres. Oh, this one makes an error. Brand's going for it. And overtakes him on the straight there. Moves to 5th again. There's one lap, 17 out of 28. As Lewis is in the pits then, so he's going on his mediums. He's made a very late call to do that. But he's got nothing to lose, as he's in 11th.
For the softs, fastest lap done. Attempt at least.
Yeah, I think he'll attempt it and then call it a day himself. But he can't leave the session since he is the host, so... So ASY is now out of DRS range from Brand, so maybe Brand's picked up the pace a tiny bit. As they're slowly catching up on Vola, and Vola's slowly catching up with Jabraka ahead. As Marlon sets the 35.3 as the new fastest lap. And yep, everybody is out of DRS range except Tito and Hershey. So the fight for 8th right now. While we're on board this fight, I'm just going to have a look at the standings to see if the constructors will be wrapped up today. I believe they will be, but just to get it confirmed. Yeah, I believe it will be wrapped up today. The way the order is at the moment, Marlon should get the Mercedes constructors as well. Since Alpine are the ones in second, Brand's only in fifth. His teammate Shane's not here due to his wheel not working. Lewis gets a 3-second time penalty, so he's really pushing. That lap won't count as a fastest lap since it was invalidated. But you know, we might as well go on board with Lewis or Sondra for a bit if he's on another quick lap. There isn't any potential overtakes at the moment between Tito or Hershey or anybody. We might as well watch Lewis then. See, his first sector split is going to be 26-1, 5 tenths already in the first sector.
What you said?
26.5, then I say something like that. He's 5 tenths up, so I'm guessing you're checking for Marlon's first sector. I'll let you know what his second sector is. See if he's
just behind Marlon in the first sector.
Well, that's definitely a warning with that corner cut. A 1 minute 4.3 in the second sector.
Yeah, it doesn't show me like that, you know.
Ah.
But let's see, 38.5. I should be up on Marlon right now.
Let's see then. Will he be improving? To improving Marlon's best time. He's definitely improving his time, and it's 36 flat, so no fastest lap. 2.1 seconds improvement. Fastest lap is a 35.3, so he was 7 tenths. So he's lost 7 tenths somewhere. Now, I do remember Lewis telling me privately that he was struggling in sector 1 and 3 with the setup he has, but the second sector he was pretty decent. Back aboard with Hershey and Tito.
Oh yeah, no, I was looking at the wrong lap. He was well behind in the first and second sector.
Ah. I was going to say, I was worried, I was a bit confused actually when you said, oh, he's probably going to beat Marlon, then it's like 7 tenths off, and I was like, has he lost all the time in the third sector somehow? But as my voice is deciding to pack in, Tito is 7.5 tenths behind Hershey right now, still in this DRS, so not close enough to make an overtake yet as ASY picks up a penalty. But so you're just going to have to temporarily take off comms while I just go and have a drink.
Well, in that case, we actually do maybe have a fight on our hands soon, as Brand has caught up to Volakongen. Brand though used up pretty much every little bit of ERS he had, so it's not going to be an easy fight for him then. But he's within the DRS range. Well, Chabraka is keeping a very good pace right now, not really getting caught by Vola anymore.
And I am back. My voice might go again.
Lost little.
And yeah, I was watching that as Hershey's also caught up on being caught by Tito a little bit there, Sandra, as well, while you're on board with that.
Been caught. Tito and Hershey has been together for the whole time, Jared.
No, I mean, like, he's caught up. He was 8 tenths and he made a mistake. Oh, yellows. Is that Lewis?
Yellows, that should be Lewis.
How has he spun it there?
Lost it on the exit.
Novice. One novice from Lewis Curtis.
Well, let's see that. Brand 5 tenths behind Vola, going on to the straight in a few moments. Is Brand gonna go for a move? It looks like he will. He is close enough. DRS is open. Vola isn't really. He's not really fighting it, but Brand decides to stay behind. As there is some shenanigans in the final sector.
Yep, Lewis Curtis being a bot. Well, on board with Brand and Voller right now. I'm going to guess Lewis is going to retire, or he's going to get another set of softs. No, he's going to retire. Everybody can score points, so as long as you make it through the 90% rule, everyone can score points. Interesting, Brandon actually go for the overtake on that straight then. As far then as not really actually caught any time this time around on Jabraka, as you were saying. Jabraka's actually maintained a decent pace, so maybe he is pushing those hards to the limit to try and catch up to Frentz and Marlon.
Well, it looks like he is. But now then, Brand using some ERS. Should be an easy overtaker.
Yeah, definitely easy overtake there, and probably another easy overtake for Voller next time round if he stays within that gap, unless Brand pulls away. But while these two keep scrapping away, ASY keeps closing up as Brand then made a little mistake that corner. And ASY is now in DRS range. As we're just on lap number 23 with Marlon. Not that many laps remaining of the race. We're just waiting for see if Voller and ASY can close the gap a tiny bit more on Brand at the moment. So, as you were right with Tito and Hershey, Sandra, they just stayed at that gap. Even with that mistake from earlier, Hershey increased the pace by a tiny bit, but Steph's made a mistake in the final sector.
He has, and he's just standing still.
Yeah, he needs to. Is he moving or?
He's moving now.
I was going to say, don't stand.
And I think he will retire. Actually, he shouldn't retire.
Yeah, he shouldn't retire, but you know, some people just do. No, he's going for set softs. So, was he off on the track standing still, or was he in any gravel? Or interesting. I was just wondering why he was standing still, but well, keeps going. Trying to go for fast slap. Lewis tried it, couldn't make it work. Time to beat is a 35.3. When Steph starts that, like, we'll go on board with him. As well, Brand then has put a little bit away now from Voller and ASY.
Well, I wouldn't say pulling away, making a bit slightly bigger gap in between himself and them.
As we on lap 24. Not many laps left then till Mercedes do win the Constructors. So the team maximum points you can score is 29.
Not a lot of action right now.
No, there isn't. This is what happens with everyone being equal on pace.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna go on board with Steph then, as he's gonna try to snatch that fastest lap now. Has managed to build up that much battery, but could be enough as we see him going through turn 1 here. Now let's see then. Through the first sector. It's a 25.7 in the first sector. I do believe that is 2/10 quicker than Marlon's fastest lap. As he's now heading towards the long straight, and there isn't really much to do here except for planting the foot straight down and going full throttle until the end of the straight, and we can see him using up almost all of his battery here. And let's see then, as we're gonna get the second sector split in a moment. 38. And that should be another 2/10 for Steph, so he should be about 4/10 ahead of Marlon. Now, around the final corner, and it's going to be a 34.5.
Yeah,
Very
brilliant lap
strong
there.
lap there.
Yeah, very strong lap indeed. Lewis couldn't do it, and Steph's rose up to the challenge on lap 25 then. Starting lap 26 now for Marlon. And Marlon's been dominant all race, got a gap of 6.1 seconds to Ferenc. And this is why he's the champion this season. After Shane was making a couple mistakes which ended up in DNFs. And then his wheel broke. Marlon has just took the challenge, and basically dominated this whole season.
Could have a battle on our hands on the last lap, or maybe even from this lap, as we can see that Jabraka on his hard tires has managed to almost close that gap between himself and Ferenc, now just 1.1 separating the two of them. Obviously those old medium tires for Ferenc should be starting to go off at some point.
That's true, but we do have a fight right now actually between Hershey and Tito. Gap was really close, and it was 3/10, but he just absolutely bottled it into the back straight hairpin at the entry. He went a bit too deep, so that's cost him potentially making the overtake. And if Marlon wins today, Sondra, that'll be his 6th win of the season.
How many in a row?
4 in a row, from Japan to Brazil. Would have been 5 if he didn't spin it in Jeddah. So he could have been on his 6th win in a row today.
On to the penultimate lap of the race, and Ferenc will start to feel a little bit of pressure from this Ferrari behind him now.
Oh,
As Tito
Tito's
pits.
interesting. And he's got a 5-second as well.
Unless back to the fight for second Ferenc. Ahead of Jabraka. Jabraka not really close enough to make a move here. 7, almost 8/10 separating them. Now obviously Jabraka closing a little, however it's not going to be enough. He's going to have to try it on the final lap. We can see Ferenc's light flashing though. He's not able to conserve any ERS whatsoever.
Marlon starts the final lap of the race. Stay on board with the fight for second, obviously, since Jabraka's right on the back of Ferenc. And Tito's actually going to attempt for fastest lap. It'll be interesting then.
I just realized Jabraka does have a pen though, so unless that is something he can get removed, Ferenc should be pretty certain about getting the second.
Oh, actually, Brand's going to be certain to get in third because it's a 6-second pen. It's not just 3. So,
let's see here now then. Jabraka closing on Ferenc, getting very close towards the end of this straight, goes down the inside to take P2 on track at least.
Well, I'm going to go on board with the leader though, Marlon. This is 6th win of the season. And he's happy already. He's already starting to weave a little bit. He's already won the drivers. I believe this now wraps up the constructors as well. So Mercedes and Marlon take their championships. Jabraka then will be finishing second on track. Goes completely off him. And, well, Ferenc moves to second. Brand then will be finishing third with Wallet in fourth. Then Jabraka then finishes fifth. ASY then, who had a 5-second penalty as well, finishing in sixth. And so Zane, if ASY had more than penalties, he did, moves to 6th and ASY 7th. Hershey will round up the grid in 8th, but what about Tito? Has he got the fastest lap? Fastest lap to beat is 34.5.
Round the final corner, let's see, 134, 135 flat.
35 dead flat actually as well, so... And he had a 5-second added to his time due to speed in the pits. But Steph then will take 10th, but he does take the fastest lap point, so he gets 2 points for that. And he will be happy with that, as Lewis has left the session. So I'm positive he needs to get the results for the race. But, yeah. Steph then will be finishing in 10th. I don't know if anybody will be getting any penalties or anything like that. But at the start of the race, very exciting. But Steph's going to be happy it's over now. And finishing in 10th. Marlon's 6th win this season out of 11 races to go. There's 2 more rounds, oh sorry, 1 more round to go, which is Britain, which is next, since USA has been done. So he could take another win. Yet again though, Marlon on the top step of the podium, as he's taking his wheel up with him as well. But what a race for Marlon, dominant from start to finish. And the guy who potentially challenged him that race was Jabraka, but in the end, his strategy wasn't the best. Calling Jabraka's side, which easily let Marlon win the race today, with Ferenc in 2nd and Brand finishing in 3rd. Obviously, Jabraka dropped to 5th with his penalties. Well, there we have it then. That is our top 3 of the race, but the unofficial order in case penalties and all that sort of stuff. Marlon then takes the win. Ferenc 2nd, Brand 3rd, Wallet in 4th, Jabraka in 5th. Zane, good result today in 6th. ASY in 7th. It could have been a lot higher up, but a couple of mistakes cost him today. Hershey did a better result than a couple of times out in 8th. Tito 9th. Steph then is 10th. That is your top 10 then. Everybody else between Lewis, Fruitful, Cameron, Lickle, Mali, Noah and Jax all DNF'd from today's race. Which is a shame, but that's how it goes sometimes. You can have almost a full grid and then only 10 people can finish. Well, Sondre, have you got anything to add before you close down the stream?
I don't think I do this time.
Alright, fair enough then. Well then, join us next time at Britain. Same commentators as usual between me and Sondre. But until then, see you guys next time. Goodbye for now.